The storms of life do not arrive to destroy you, they arrive to shape you. Challenges are not random punishments. They are invitations to discover the unshakable strength already planted within you. Every time the ground shakes beneath your feet, you are given the chance to choose. Will you rise taller, or will you shrink smaller? Destiny does not wait for perfect conditions. Destiny bows only to decision. When the world feels heavy, you are not being crushed. You are being forged. Steel is strengthened by fire, and so are you. The moment you decide that your spirit was designed to endure, everything changes. Fear loses its grip, clarity returns, and inner power takes the lead. The truth is simple. Survival is not about waiting for comfort. It is about walking forward with conviction. Too many people hold back, waiting for courage to arrive before they take action. But courage is not a feeling, it is a choice. You act strong, not because your emotions agree, but because your life demands it. Think of Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for decades, cut off from the life he once knew, yet he carried himself with unshakable dignity. He did not wait for freedom to believe in leadership. He lived as a leader long before the world acknowledged him. That is the posture of resilience. You don't escape the storm. You learn to walk through it with head held high. The secret is this: adversity never defines you. It reveals you. Pressure uncovers the person you already are. When the weight presses down, some collapse, but others stand straighter. The difference is not in the pressure itself, but in the decision made under it. You must decide in advance who you are. You must claim your identity before the test arrives. If you know you are built to rise, then no storm can truly defeat you. Your identity becomes your shield. Without it, fear rules your choices. With it, challenges become teachers instead of enemies. History is full of examples. When Leonardo da Vinci faced endless failures in his inventions, he never saw them as defeat. Each setback was simply another step toward mastery. He knew exactly who he was: a creator, a visionary, a student of the impossible. And because he lived from that identity, the world eventually recognized his genius. The same is true for you. Each obstacle you face is not proof of weakness, but proof that life trusts you with growth. Pain is not here to drown you, it is here to refine you. When you treat difficulty as preparation instead of punishment, you step into a level of strength others never touch. You must remind yourself daily, I was not made to crumble. I was created to overcome. Fear, of course, will always whisper. It will paint pictures of disaster. It will sing songs of doubt. It will demand your attention like a loud voice in the dark. But fear only has the power you give it. It grows when you feed it. Ignore its hunger and it withers. Every time you step toward what frightens you, fear shrinks. Every time you delay, fear multiplies. So how do you silence the voice of doubt? Not by waiting for it to disappear, but by moving while it screams. Every champion who has ever lived began with trembling hands. They did not wait for fear to leave, they acted anyway. Think of Malala Yousafzai, a young girl facing danger beyond imagination, yet she kept speaking, kept writing, kept standing for education. Her fear was real, but her courage was greater. And her courage grew not by removing fear, but by walking forward despite it. Remember this: courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to advance as though victory already belongs to you. When you live this way, your mind shifts from panic to power. Struggles do not vanish, but your perspective transforms them into stepping stones. You must stop asking, "What if I fail?" and begin declaring, "Even if I stumble, I will learn, I will grow, I will rise stronger." That is the difference between those who break and those who become unbreakable. Your thoughts shape your world. What you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you live. Speak strength, even when you feel weak. Say to yourself, I was made for this. I have survived every single day until now, and I will keep surviving. I am stronger than anything that has tried to break me. Because that is the truth. You are not standing here by accident. You have already proven again and again that you are stronger than every dark day that tried to end you. This moment is no different. The next storm will not destroy you. It will refine you into someone wiser, tougher, and brighter than before. And when you embrace this identity, when you decide that you are unshakable, life itself begins to bend around that decision. Adversity loses its grip, fear loses its voice, and you finally step into the life you were always meant to live. Strength does not come from comfort, it comes from discipline. Your mind is your greatest weapon, and like any weapon, it must be sharpened. Without training, it becomes your greatest weakness. With training, it becomes unstoppable. The tragedy of modern life is that so many hand control of their days to fleeting emotions. They allow moods to dictate actions, and then wonder why their lives drift off course. But greatness is not built on feelings. It is built on discipline. The kind that chooses direction over distraction, action over excuses, consistency over comfort. Think of Michael Jordan. He was not just talented. Thousands are talented. What separated him was the relentless discipline to practice longer, harder, and more intentionally than anyone else. He trained his mind to remain calm under pressure, to trust his preparation when the world was watching. That discipline turned him into one of history's greatest athletes. This is the same path available to you. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It is the rope that pulls you from chaos into clarity. It is the structure that transforms dreams into reality. The disciplined mind does not wait until crisis strikes to figure things out. It has already rehearsed its response. It has already built the routines, the habits, the inner strength required to endure. Every time you honor your schedule, when you feel tired, you are building discipline. Every time you keep a promise to yourself when it would be easier to quit, you are building discipline. Each of these small victories stacks into extraordinary strength over time. Remember this: motivation is unreliable. It shows up when it wants. Discipline shows up because you decided it would. Motivation waits for inspiration. Discipline acts before inspiration arrives. That is why discipline outlasts talent, outlasts feelings, and outlasts excuses. Your thoughts are the foundation of this discipline. If you cannot direct your thinking, you cannot direct your actions. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation begins first in the mind. When you catch yourself sinking into doubt, you must interrupt it. Replace it with thoughts that lift, words that build, actions that align with your higher vision. Every thought becomes a seed. Water the ones that serve you, and starve the ones that weaken you. If you repeatedly allow negative patterns, they will turn into destructive habits. But if you repeatedly choose empowering thoughts, they will turn into unshakable strength. Look at Oprah Winfrey's journey. She faced poverty, rejection, and endless reasons to quit. Yet she trained her mind to focus on possibility instead of limitation. She built habits of learning, speaking, and creating when nothing around her suggested success. That mental discipline carried her from obscurity to becoming one of the most influential voices of our time. This is the gift of discipline. It transforms struggle into strength. It is the invisible training that prepares you for visible success. When pain arrives, and it always will, discipline refuses to collapse. It steadies your spirit, anchors your decisions, and reminds you of who you are. Begin small, but begin today. Set rituals that ground you, in the morning, in the evening, in the spaces where distraction tries to steal your focus. Decide one area of your life where you will demand more from yourself. Build structure around it. And when discomfort rises, lean in. Growth never hides in comfort zones. It lives in the places where effort is required. Because discipline is not about eliminating difficulty. It is about transforming yourself into someone who can meet difficulty without breaking. Imagine a soldier preparing for battle, training day after day, not because war is certain, but because preparedness is strength. You must train your mind with the same commitment. When challenges strike, the undisciplined panic. The disciplined respond. That is the difference between defeat and triumph. And here is the truth. Every great achievement you admire was born from disciplined effort. Whether it was Einstein wrestling with equations, Serena Williams practicing until her muscles ached, or Beethoven composing through deafness, discipline made it possible. So ask yourself, are you letting emotions lead your life, or are you choosing discipline to shape it? The answer determines not just what you achieve, but who you become, because your habits form your character, and your character shapes your destiny. Each morning you rise, you are given the chance to choose. Will today be another day of reacting, or will it be another brick in the foundation of an extraordinary life? Discipline is not a cage. It is the key to clarity, to resilience, to freedom. Choose it, practice it, live it, and soon you will discover that the person you are becoming is stronger than any obstacle in your path. Belief is the engine of survival. When the foundation beneath you shakes, it is not wealth that holds you steady, nor even the support of others. What carries you through is conviction, the deep knowing that you were born to endure, to rise, and to conquer. Without belief, every action feels fragile. Without belief, setbacks become permanent. But when you decide to believe before you see evidence, you unlock the power to walk through seasons others would not survive. Belief is not blind optimism. It is not pretending difficulty does not exist. Belief is the decision to face reality and still declare, I will overcome. It acknowledges the mountain but refuses to bow to it. Helen Keller once said that faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. Despite living in silence and darkness, she graduated, wrote books, and inspired millions. Her life proved a truth we must all learn. Belief doesn't ignore limitations, it transcends them. When life darkens, the natural question is, how do I escape this? But the more powerful question is, what must I believe to endure this? That shift changes everything. One question looks for rescue. The other activates your inner strength. Look at Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed experiments stood between him and the light bulb. To many, those failures were proof that it couldn't be done. But Edison believed that each attempt was not wasted effort, but a step closer to success. And belief kept him going until the world was forever changed. Belief is both shield and sword. As shield, it protects you from despair. As sword, it cuts through obstacles others accept as permanent. With belief, even the heaviest losses cannot keep you down for long. Without it, even minor struggles can break you. So how do you build unshakable belief? You must practice it daily. Speak it, write it, surround yourself with people who remind you of it. Feed your mind with stories of those who rose from impossible odds. Recall your own victories, no matter how small. Every time you overcame something you thought you couldn't, that was belief in action. But most importantly, speak belief over yourself. Replace, I can't handle this, with, this is shaping me. Trade, this is the end, for this is the beginning of something greater. Your words carve the pathway your feet will follow. Belief also transforms pain. Pain without meaning becomes suffering. Pain with meaning becomes purpose. The difference is the story you tell yourself. Think of J.K. Rowling. She faced rejection after rejection from publishers, living on the edge of poverty. But she believed in her story, in her vision, in her dream. That belief turned every no into fuel, until finally the world said yes. And today, her books have touched generations. Your story may not look the same, but the principle is identical. Every hardship can become preparation if you choose to believe it has a reason. Each scar can become a source of strength. Each setback can be transformed into strategy. Belief makes it possible. And here's the truth. Life will test you again and again. Seasons will come when everything seems stacked against you. And in those moments, you must remember, belief is not about waiting for proof. Belief is the proof. What the mind can imagine and hold as true, it will eventually manifest, not through magic, but through the unstoppable force of aligned thought and action. When you believe strongly enough, you begin to act differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. And those shifts attract opportunities that doubt would have blinded you to. So begin today. Anchor yourself in belief that you were designed to win. Let that belief guide your actions, your decisions, your posture in every situation. When your environment offers no evidence of success, let your conviction be the evidence. Because belief is not just one strategy. It is the first line of defense. It is the foundation upon which every other victory is built. With it, you cannot be defeated. Without it, you cannot truly begin. Every human being needs a reason to fight. Pain without purpose is unbearable, but pain with purpose becomes fuel. When you anchor your struggle to a mission greater than yourself, you discover strength you never knew existed. Most people give up not because they are weak, but because they have not found their why. Without it, difficulties feel meaningless. With it, every hardship becomes a stepping stone. Think of Viktor Frankl, who survived the unimaginable in concentration camps. He wrote that those who had a reason to live, a vision, a dream, a loved one, were the ones who endured. Purpose gave them power. Purpose gave them hope. And hope gave them life. Your reason does not have to be grand to others. It only has to be real to you. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's a dream project. Maybe it's a vision of who you want to become. Whatever it is, hold it close. Let it remind you that the pain is simply the price of progress. History is full of people who transformed struggle into mission. Take Marie Curie, who lost her husband in a tragic accident. She could have surrendered to grief. Instead, she carried forward their shared work, eventually winning 2 Nobel Prizes. Her purpose turned loss into legacy. This is the truth. When your why is strong enough, the how will always appear. You will find the path, the resources, the resilience. You will uncover abilities that comfort could never have revealed. But you must define it clearly. Vague desires produce vague effort. Don't just say, "I want success." Decide why. What future are you unwilling to surrender? Who are you fighting for? What dream is worth every sacrifice? Once you know, let it guide your choices. Say no to distractions. Say yes to growth. Align every step with your purpose. This is how ordinary people create extraordinary outcomes. Not by chasing motivation, but by living from mission. Olympic athletes do not wake up at dawn to train because they feel like it. They train because the vision of gold is worth every drop of sweat. Entrepreneurs do not push through failure after failure because it's easy. They persist because the dream of building something meaningful outweighs the setbacks. Your reason may evolve as you grow. What drives you in your 20s may be different from what drives you in your 40s. That is not weakness. It is growth. But there must always be something you are moving toward, something that keeps you from drifting aimlessly. Purpose transforms survival into significance. Instead of just making it through, you rise with meaning. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishment, you see them as preparation. Every setback becomes material for your story. Every hardship becomes a chapter in your legacy. Take Malala Yousafzai again. Her suffering could have silenced her forever. Instead, she chose to let her pain give voice to millions. Her why was so powerful that fear could not stop her. That same principle lives in you. Find your reason, frame it clearly, feel it deeply, then fight for it relentlessly. When you do, you'll discover that energy multiplies, resilience strengthens, and progress accelerates. You will stop asking, "Can I?" and start declaring, "I must." Because a person with a reason will always outlast a person with excuses. Your task is not to avoid challenges. Your task is to harness them, to let them fuel your fire instead of extinguish it. This is how pain becomes power, and struggle becomes strength. So today, ask yourself, what am I fighting for? And once you know, refuse to let go. That reason will carry you further than motivation ever could. It will become your anchor in every storm, your compass in every season, your fire when the world feels cold. Purpose is not optional. It is survival. And with it, there is nothing you cannot endure and nothing you cannot achieve. Pressure is not punishment. Pressure is proof that life trusts you with growth. Most people fear it, but those who rise highest learn to embrace it. Pressure sharpens you. It reveals strengths hidden in silence. It forces you to expand beyond your comfort zone. Think of Serena Williams. Every match, every tournament, the weight of expectation pressed down on her shoulders. Yet she welcomed that pressure as fuel. It drove her to train harder, focus deeper, and ultimately become one of the greatest athletes in history. She didn't run from pressure. She partnered with it. You must do the same. Treat pressure like the weights in a gym. The resistance feels heavy, but that very resistance is what builds strength. Without it, muscles shrink. With it, they grow. Pressure in life works the same way. Average people see pressure as a prison. Extraordinary people see it as preparation. The difference is perspective. If you fight against it, you feel crushed. If you lean into it, you are forged. Diamonds are formed under pressure. So is your potential. When deadlines tighten, when competition increases, when expectations rise, don't shrink back. Tell yourself, this is my proving ground. Because that's exactly what it is. Athletes, soldiers, innovators, all understand this. Navy pilots train under harsher conditions than real missions, so that when reality strikes, they are already prepared. Musicians rehearse tirelessly under pressure, so that performance feels natural. Leaders face scrutiny daily, not to be broken, but to be strengthened. Pressure clarifies priorities. It strips away the unnecessary and demands focus. It teaches you to breathe deeper, to think sharper, to move with precision. Practical mastery of pressure requires 3 simple disciplines. 1. Breathe through it. Calm your body. Feed your brain oxygen. Steady your spirit. 2. Focus through it. Direct your energy to what matters most and ignore distractions. 3. Act through it. Do not freeze. Even small steps create momentum. The more you train yourself in these disciplines, the more pressure becomes your partner instead of your enemy. Look at Steve Jobs. When Apple was on the brink of collapse, the pressure was immense. Yet instead of folding, he used that season to reinvent the company, creating products that changed the world. Without that pressure, Apple may never have become the giant it is today. This is the gift of pressure. It exposes weaknesses that need to be strengthened, and it highlights the strengths that deserve to be expanded. But remember, pressure is not meant to feel comfortable. Growth rarely does. Discomfort is the classroom where greatness is taught. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, reframe it. Instead of saying, "Why me?" declare, "For me." This pressure is happening for you, not to you. Because here's the truth. Pressure does not break the prepared, it reveals them. Every challenge you are facing right now is building capacity for tomorrow. Each moment of strain is developing endurance. Each test is proof that you are capable of more. This is why the most successful people in history were not those with the easiest journeys, but those who learned to dance with pressure instead of fighting it. They understood that life's greatest achievements always sit on the other side of life's greatest weight. Pressure is not the end. It is the process. And if you trust that process, you will emerge stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable than ever before. So breathe, focus, act, and remember, pressure is not your prison. It is your partner in greatness. Stillness is strength. In moments of chaos, the world screams at you to react, to panic, to rush, to lose control. But true leaders, true survivors, know that calm is power. Stillness is not passivity. It is controlled presence. It is the ability to stand firm when everything around you is shaking. Think of the Dalai Lama. Despite exile, hardship, and endless conflict around him, he has carried himself with an unshakable calm that inspires millions. His stillness is not weakness. It is mastery. It is the ability to pause, breathe, and choose the right response instead of being dragged by impulse. You must learn this art, because storms will come, and if you allow chaos to dictate your choices, you will always be a prisoner of circumstance. But when you anchor yourself in calm, you move from being a thermometer, reacting to the environment, to being a thermostat, setting the tone no matter the conditions. Stillness creates space. Space to think. Space to hear your own wisdom instead of the noise of fear. Space to choose your next move with clarity. This is why meditation, mindfulness, and moments of pause have been used by warriors, innovators, and visionaries for centuries, not as escapes, but as preparation for decisive action. So when life overwhelms you, stop, breathe, return to center, then act, not from panic, but from power. Alongside stillness comes another discipline: integrity with yourself. The promises you keep to yourself matter more than anything. Each time you honor your word, your confidence rises. Each time you break it, your belief erodes. Self-trust is the foundation of resilience. When you say, "I will do this," and you follow through, your subconscious begins to see you as reliable. And soon, you carry yourself with certainty, because you know you mean what you say. Start small if you must. If you promise yourself 10 minutes of focus, deliver it. If you commit to a step of progress today, take it. These small victories build momentum until you become unstoppable. And when setbacks come, and they will, remember this: setbacks are not signs of failure. They are signals. They point you toward refinement, toward adjustment, toward growth. The airplane does not fly in a straight line. It is constantly recalibrating. So are you. Treat every failure as feedback, not a dead end, but a direction. Not proof of inadequacy, but proof of progress. Each stumble is a lesson disguised as inconvenience. Walt Disney was fired early in his career for lacking imagination. He faced bankruptcy, rejection, and ridicule, but he treated each setback as information, not condemnation. And that mindset eventually built a global legacy of creativity and joy. The same applies to you. Setbacks are not stop signs. They are stepping stones. And while you walk this journey, there is one practice that multiplies your resilience more than any other: gratitude. Gratitude in pressure. Gratitude in difficulty. Gratitude when it seems there is nothing to be thankful for. Gratitude reframes your vision. It lifts you from despair to possibility. It reminds you that even in hardship, there are resources, relationships, and inner strength still present. As Maya Angelou once said, "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." Gratitude allows you to see the gift hidden in every moment. So make it a habit. Each day, name what you are thankful for. Not vague, but specific. Let thankfulness become your shield Your anchor, your light. Because in the end, survival and success are not about avoiding storms. They are about who you become in them. Character is not found. It is forged. It is built in the daily choices to persist when quitting is easier, to believe when doubt is louder, to rise when falling feels final. Think of Nelson Mandela leaving prison after 27 years. He could have chosen bitterness. Instead, he chose vision, forgiveness, and leadership. His character was not destroyed by adversity. It was shaped by it. So ask yourself, who am I becoming through this? Am I becoming stronger, wiser, more courageous? Or am I surrendering to weakness? The choice is always yours. Life is not asking for perfection. It is asking for persistence. It is asking for courage. It is asking for the decision to live as if victory is inevitable. Because the truth is this: you were not created to merely survive. You were created to thrive. You were built to endure, to rise, and to shine brighter with every challenge. So stand tall. Walk forward. Speak with power. Act with conviction. Not because it is easy, but because you have already decided who you are. Victory is not a question. It is your identity. The storm will not break you. The pressure will not crush you. The setbacks will not stop you. You will rise, you will grow, and you will win. This is your moment. Step into it.